Hello, this is Frederick Forsyth. I'm glad to be on Six Towns Radio.
6TR, the bright side of Staffordshire.
Okay, it's Friday afternoon, and on the telephone, it's my pleasure to have the legend that is Frederick Forsyth CBE. Hello, and good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and good afternoon to you.
Well, we've got you on the line because it's Remembrance Day on the 11th of November, of course, and your lament to the lost heroes, fallen soldier, has been made into a beautiful track by Melissa.
It has indeed, yeah.
And how did that happen? How did it come about?
It was a fluke. I had written what was then in words just a poem.
Yeah.
16 lines, 4 quatrains, as a sort of tribute, really, to all the boys who died wearing our uniform over the past 100 years. And I didn't know what to do with it, but I thought it, rather than poem, it should be a song, if possible, but I had no music. So I hunted around in classical music, sort of public domain, which no fees to pay. I couldn't find a piece that matched the words. So just a fluke. I was in church in my village, and I just heard this extraordinary, beautiful soprano voice coming from the choir. I thought, that's odd, that quality, in a village church.
Yes.
I found out who it was. It turned out to be Melissa, a lovely lady from the Royal Opera House. That was why. I mean, the quality of the voice. And she mentors our church choir, pro bono. So anyway, I showed her the poem, and she said, "Oh, I'd love to sing that. Where's the music?" I said, "I haven't got any music." She said, "I know a composer, British composer, called Gareth Williams." So she showed it to him, and he composed a beautiful melody for it. And they went into a studio and recorded it. And there it is. It's a song called Fallen Soldier.
Yes, and it's beautiful. It's well put together, and it just really works. Like you said, you've put a lot of thought into it, and by fluke, it's happened now. Even Tim Rice has said it's utterly beautiful.
Yep.
There's a nice honour from somebody who knows what they're talking about.
He's heard a few songs.
So yeah, that's released, and of course, like you said, it's a poem that you writ. Is that something that happens quite a lot now? You write things and you wonder what to do with them, because obviously...
No, not really. Usually, either people ask me to write something,
exactly,
or I have an idea and I write it and I give it to my agent, and he says, "Oh, I think I could place that." So it was there or there or there. But this was an oddity, and it wasn't asked for. It was just a thought that came into my head. We've got all the First World War poets, yes, and we've got this and that, and we've got Jerusalem, and we've got songs, but I couldn't think of a single song that was specifically a tribute to all these young men. So, and indeed young women now. So, with Remembrance Sunday coming up, I thought maybe this is the time. So there it is. It's been launched already. It's climbing the charts. And it's going to be played, I think, quite a bit this coming week.
Yes, of course. Will Melissa be doing a live version of this song on Remembrance Sunday?
Yes, she's doing one, I think 2 or 3 TV appearances. In fact, tomorrow we're both going to be up at Wolverhampton.
Oh, yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers football ground, where they have said they're going to have a sort of 60-minute mini concert before the game.
That's wonderful.
So she's singing in that.
That's our neck of the woods, nearly. We're in Staffordshire. That's only just across the border.
Well,
not
there
that
you
far
go.
away at all. We'll have to get some people come down and say hello. Of course, you're more famous for your other written work. Just looking at the list in front of me, The Day of the Jackal, Dogs of War, Odessa. It's all things that people know, have read. A lot of it been made into films, etc. It's quite a body of work there, actually, Frederick.
I think it's about, I honestly haven't counted, but I think it's about 16 books or in all. But over a 40-something year period, so about 1 every 3 years average. In other words, I'm not fast.
Well, saying that, though, it must take that amount of time to write something so big and vast, because...
Well, I spend a lot of time on research because I've got this sort of a near obsession with accuracy, if I can get it right. Mm-hmm. So I tend to... if I want to describe a place, go to it.
Yeah.
It involves a fair amount of traveling. Some of the places are pretty weird, and indeed some of them are very unpleasant. I've been to some very nasty places.
Yeah.
because I just want to get it right. If I say that's the way it is, then believe me, that's the way it is, because I've been there.
That's the best way. That's the best way. And of course, before writing, you had military experience yourself, you had journalism as well under your belt. And I suppose those two have helped you to write as well, the experience.
Well, they did. They told me, journalism teaches you a number of things. One is how to research. Basically, investigative journalism is about how to discover things you're not supposed to know, which upsets the establishment, which is quite right too. So that's a residue from journalism. I know how to research. Then you've got, with a bit of luck, you've got quite a list of contacts, not necessarily friends, a bit more than acquaintances, people you can go to and say, look, you spent your life steeped in this particular area. Tell me about it, because I need to write about it. I want to get it right. So contacts, I suppose put the two together, you can put it this way: if I was going to describe a crisis on a jumbo jet flying the Atlantic, what would happen? What would the pilot do? Well, I happen to know a four-ring BA pilot, so I could go to him and say, "Now look, Ian, you're in the middle of the Atlantic. You're in a jumbo. You've just lost your port outer engine." Bloody flames all over the place. What are you going to do about it? And he'd tell me, you see, that I'd write it the way he says.
Yeah.
And then when the book came out, other pilots would say, "Oh, he knows his airliners." No, I don't. I just knew a man who did.
It's not what you know; it's who you know in some circumstances.
That's it. So sometimes if I don't know, I want to do some very abstruse subject. I don't know, anybody who's in that subject, but I know a man who'll know a man.
Yes.
Who will probably say, "Oh, you want to speak to Charlie? Charlie knows all about that." I follow the trail until I get to the source of the information, and I take it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, for all the budding writers that are listening, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Do your research, get to know people.
Well, it depends what you're writing.
Yeah.
See, I mean, if you're sitting at home, you can do a nice little romance without leaving the country, and you don't even have to leave your house because you're inventing it all. It's about people and falling in love and not falling in love and all that sort of stuff. But if you want to describe Bogota, the cocaine capital of the world, you've got to go to Bogota, where I've been.
Yes. Is there a place that you sit? Have you got a study or a place that you like to write? Is it somewhere in the house or somewhere you go?
Yeah, like most. I don't know why, but it seems to be common to authors to have a shed in the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, Roald Dahl had one where he sat with a blanket over his knees. I don't do. I actually sit at a table, and I think Jeffrey Archer's got his little stone bothy in the garden of his house up near Cambridge. He goes off there to write, or he writes in the Bahamas. But a place in the garden is best because there's no hoovering, no doorbell ringing, no dogs barking, no callers at the front door, all that stuff. Leave that out and just close the door, close the roll of lines down. I don't even want to look at the garden in case I get distracted. So I just sit there facing the wall. There's not much you can do with the wall. So if you can't, be interested in the wall, you concentrate on what you're doing, which is writing.
Yeah, the gardening can be distracting, I suppose.
Well, things go on out in the gardens,
Yeah.
I can be sitting there thinking, okay, I'm trying to describe an aeroplane. Hey, there's a fox crossing the lawn. So distraction. I try and get rid of distractions.
Yeah.
I don't even have. Some people have music playing in the background. I don't even have that. And just silence and solitude. I need them both.
Yeah, and over 70 million books sold, it says here.
So I'm told. I haven't counted them.
You've not counted them personally.
I rely on agents and publishers, and sometimes they say it's just top 70 or it's just heading for 80 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, last year your autobiography came out, The Outsider: My Life in Intrigue. Was it difficult to write about yourself?
Yes, it was really because I call it more a memoir because it's as from the French, it's what you remember. So I thought, well, I'll just remember. I mean, I didn't do much research on it. I just thought back. What happened? Oh, yeah, that happened. Then I joined the Air Force. Yeah, and I just jotted it down in the form of about, I think, 50 anecdotes. Some of them are only 2.5, 3 pages long.
Yeah.
Others are 10, 12 pages long, but they're anecdotes. Things I saw, places I went, people I met. Some weird, some sad, some funny, I hope. But that was it. That was 70-odd years.
Yeah. Well, it's been really interesting listening to you talk about how you've wrote books and how you've prepared this and how you made the song. And I wish you the world of luck with The Fallen Soldier. And I thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're very kind. Thank you.